If you're into online education, this automation is for you. Today, I'm going to dive right in and show you how you could use AI today simply and quite easily, and build an automation that will automatically check the assignments of your students, give them feedback. The tools that I'm going to use for these automations would be Make, Airtable, and Claude, which is an LLM. Okay, so we'll use the API of Claude, and that's about that. The way that it's going to work is quite simple. Students are going to submit their assignments. Then the LLM is going to check the assignments for us based on guidelines that we've pre-trained the model. And based on that, it's going to give feedback for the students via email. So they could pick this form real quick. It's quite simple. They pick Wing Scanner as the task. Then they choose the image. So they could just upload the picture of their assignments. This is the assignment. And the student press submit. And now it's sending it to Make. Okay, so we see the backend. The engine basically works live. That's how it looks like. Great, so now it should be in my email already. Okay, so your feedback is ready. Feedback on your Wing Scanner UX writing a task. Let's build it from scratch real quick. So the first thing you want to do is to go to Airtable. I'm going to Airtable right now. And I'm building a new base. And I'll call it the AI feedback base. Okay, I like to clean it up a little bit to make sure that I get it all clean. And right now what we want to do is to have two different types of databases. One that will populate all of the tasks that our students submit, so we'll call that one tasks. And another one which would be based on all of the assignments, so assignments. Great, we want to have a database that will teach the AI every time how to, which assignments the students should do. So obviously we had Wing Scanner. I'm just going to do placeholders here real quick. So assignment 3, assignment 2, assignment 3, assignment 4. Okay, we'll delete also these. And what we need to have is guidelines. So every assignment should have guidelines for the AI to learn how we should basically, how the AI should give the feedback. So let's say that we have a Wing Scanner. So we want to give it the guidelines. So we've created in advanced guidelines for our mentors. So we could use the exact same guidelines also for the AI. So we have this template right now about the feedback structure and so on, and different examples. So I'm just going to copy and paste the guidelines. I'm going to copy and paste the guidelines and the exercise itself. So the AI would know this is the structure, this is what expected, this is how we check the assignment, this is what we want the student to know. These are bad examples, these are good examples. And I am going to add the guidelines here. Great. So right now we have a database, simple database with an assignment and a guideline for that assignment. Okay, so the next thing we want to create is the database that will populate that the students' tasks. An auto number. What's important is that we want to connect it to another record. What record? You guessed it, that assignment record. So students could pick the right assignment. So let's call it assignment. And we don't want to allow to link to multiple records. We want to keep it only on one assignment. And we want to create a lookup field of the guidelines. And that's more or less about it. So let's say that we have the Wing Scanner assignment, we have also the guidelines. And we want to build another field here, which will be an attachment, because we want people to add like a picture of their assignment, of their screen. So we want to make sure that the AI will go through the attached assignments, grab the guidelines, give feedback, and then bring it back to Airtable. I'll build another field here. Let me call it feedback. And there you have it. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to build is an automation that will send the data from Airtable to Make. In order to do it, we need to create a webhook. Okay, so I'm going to create a whole video about how to create webhooks in Airtable, but for now, I will just go through it real quickly. The way that it works is that usually I have a view named all, and I have another view named send to make, and I'm building another column named check, which is a checkbox, and I call it send to make. And I say that by default it's checked. So whenever it's created, whenever a new line, a new record is created, it automatically check it, and then it send it to this view. In this view, I say I want you to give me a view only where send to make is checked. And then I create an automation that only once something enters this view, it's going to run the automation. So let's go quickly to the automations. Let's, for example, go to this one and then automations. So I'm going to do something like when record enters a view, I'm going to my tasks table and then the view of send to make. Only then and only then it will run the automation. That's about it. Then the next thing I want to do is that once it send it to make, once it press send to make, it actually send it to make. And in order to do it, I need to run a script, which is a script that I copy and paste. I do it all the time with all of my Airtables, and I just copy and paste it. Simple as that. So I'm picking run script, then it asks me what is the script. I just copy and paste it from another app. I am going to have this type of database of blueprints that I will share with you in the future. Okay, so if you need this type of blueprint, just join the waiting list, join the list, and I will give you the whole links. But for now, this is what you need. This is how you do it. You just copy and paste this script, copy, paste, and you need to fetch the webhook and put it here from make. So what I have here is a new make scenario, and I say that that's a webhook, custom webhook, and it asks me, hey, what is the webhook, where it's connected? So I'm creating a new webhook. I call it new AI tutor, and I just copy address to clipboard, and then I go back here to Airtable and I paste it here. Voila, that's about it. Now I have to define it. Sorry, I need to put it here, and I just put it here, and now I have to define it. So I say add input variable named record ID, and then plus Airtable record ID. That's about it. Now let's say that I want to make sure if it's working or not. I play run this module only, and again I am going to do a video only about doing that specific task in the future, but I'm just doing test, and I'm checking if it's actually sending the webhook to make. So it said test ran successfully, record ID. I'm going back to make, and voila, I have the record ID. This is a good sign. It means that the record was sent to make. Now we can start working. Now we can build this automation. So the first thing I want to do at the beginning was to create Google Cloud, OCR, blah, blah, blah. That went insanely bad. So I decided to do everything with Claude. So let me show you how I did it. First of all, I needed to add an Airtable module that will I needed to add an Airtable module that will grab the record ID and show me what exists in that record. So I press Airtable, and you need to connect your Airtable. In Make, you have to connect all of your modules to your apps. So let's do get a record, connect it to it, and I'll connect it to this one for now. Airtable make all. Base that I want is the AI feedback. AI feedback base. And the table is the tasks table, and this is the record ID I want. By the way, you could always test it. You can always say, hey, I want to make sure that it's working. So you just take this record ID, copy it. You press run this module only. It says on what record ID. So I check this record ID. And voila, I have here that specific record. Okay, so I finish editing this. I start this automation. I call it send to make. This is the Airtable automation. And whenever I'm going to press this button, send to make, or create a new task here, it's going to send it to make. What we want to do is to bring the feedback with AI back here, and then send it in an email. So that's about it. So what we need to do is to make sure that we are actually connecting the LLM right now. So first of all, we need an HTTP model that will take the file, that it will download the file, because that's what we need to do right now. We need to download the image file using an HTTP model and get a file. It says on what URL, so I'm just grabbing the URL of the image, and that's the URL. And we actually have the data of the image. So we actually have the data of the image here. So the next thing we want to do is to go to Claude and create something that will read that image. Okay, so I want to create two different AI modules here. One that will just go through the assignment, go through the image, extract the text, explain what he sees in the image, and another one that will actually give the feedback. So I'm going to create here a module of Claude named create a prompt. You can pick the right LLM for you. This is what I pick for now. Max tokens, usually I press 3000, and then I press add a message, role, user, content, type, image. What image? Of the HTTP, you get a file. So I get a file from here, and then I add content, and then I add a message, and then I pick another content, and I say to it, please extract the text and design of the UI in this image. Okay, so in order to connect Claude API, you need to go to Claude console, connect the API, and then put the API key. You need to pay the money in order to do that. It's quite cheap, but that's what you need to do in order to use any LLM these days: Perplexity, ChatGPT, or Claude. Let's take the image address and test our prompt. Now, prompting, it's really important in this part, right? Don't forget to hit OK. Run this module only. Okay, so we can see that when we give it to the AI right here, it actually explain what you see in the image, what's the content, what's the design elements, and so on. So we have here like text that explain what you see in the image. The next thing that we would like to create is another AI module, create a prompt. Okay, and now we're going to create a mix of prompts. Okay, let's say 3000 again. And we want to take the data from the first prompt, the data from the guideline that we have on Airtable, and then create a prompt that will generate the feedback. So that's the most important part, the prompt that we will design in order to give the feedback. So let me just show you the prompt that I've created. Again, max tokens 4000, role user, type text, and I say something like that. This is a UX writing assignment. These are the guidelines for the task. Use them to learn. And I took the guidelines module from Airtable, the exact one from the task that was submitted. I say end of guidelines. I wanted to say, okay, no more guidelines. Then I say this is the student's task. And then I took the text response from the previous AI module to just explain what he sees in the image. Then I say something like, act like the best UX writer in the world. Give the students the feedback on their task. Don't make it too long. And again, make sure the reader is not too aware that it's written by AI. Okay, I say stuff like try to think about unique angles. I say pay attention to constructive feedback. And in addition to that, you know that if you want to send it in email correctly, you need to make sure that it has HTML tags. So I also in the prompt mention, hey, I want you to give me HTML tags so I could send it in an email. Once it's ready, okay, we can actually take the exact same prompt here. Add message, role, user, add content, type, text, and there you have it. I need to actually grab the guidelines. So I'll grab him from here. The text response from Claude. Okay, I press OK. Then I add another Airtable module. I say update the record. I go to the exact same record I got it before. Table tasks. The record ID should be the exact same record ID as before, and I say to it update the feedback, and we will update it with the content of the second AI module, which is 5. So feedback, content, text. Perfect. The last thing we want to do is to send an email. So email, send an email, subject, away. This is your feedback. Let's connect it to one of our connections here. The content should be the output of Claude. The recipient, let's say it's my Gmail for now, but it will be the user that submitted it, obviously, and press OK. So now we could just run once. We'll go to Airtable and okay. So before we run it, I want to create a form view that will populate this task. So let me just create a new form. Update task. I will have the assignment option, the screen option. Feedback is not needed for now. Send to make is not needed because it automatically by default will send it to make whatever it will be created. And now this is what we have, this form that automatically populates this task bar and then automatically send it to make. So let's check real quick if it's actually going to work. So I press run once, which is Wing Scanner, the screenshot of my assignment, upload the file, and hit submit. Now I might get into an error and I might not. So let's check. I press submit and now we can go back to make and see if the webhook is working, if it actually takes the data from the right places. Now it tells the LLM tells, okay, give it feedback based on the guidelines from Airtable, based on the assignments that I'm seeing. It populated Airtable and it sent it through email. So now we can see here, this is the feedback. It has HTML tags. Gmail. Alright, this is your feedback, and there you have it. I got feedback for that specific assignment. So this is how you build. An automation that basically give feedback on the assignments of your students using Mac, Airtable, and then LLMs. This time it's Claude. Let me know if you have any questions. It was quite long, but I did my best to simplify it. If you have any questions about how to use the Airtable, webhook, what script should I use, just let me know. Drop a comment below. I'd love to support, I'd love to help. I'm planning to build way more resources and content here that will help you to get better in building AI and no-code automations. That's one of my goals this year. I managed to build a lot of businesses using this type of automations, and I think it might be quite useful to you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Put that nice bell over there to make sure you'll be updated first about my new content, and see you next time.